Hello, everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital Gossip. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Kai the key to both Drew and Michael's freedom, but what about Trina? General Hospital spoilers reveal Kai Taylor, Jens Austin Astrup, holds the cards that could free both Drew Kane, Cameron Matheson, and Michael Corinthos, Rory Gibson, from the fallout of Drew's shooting and Judge Eva Heron's, Tessa Aubergenois, death. Sneaking into Drew's safe with Trina Robinson, Tabiana Ali, during the attack, Kai swiped records Drew was using to blackmail Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr. But he saw no evidence of bribery tied to Judge Heron. Now, with Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard, planting incriminating docs in the safe via Britt, Stephen H. Smith, Drew is about to be framed for the judge's murder and custody sway. Kai will know it's bogus, but speaking up means admitting he and Trina were trespassing. When Drew accuses Michael of the shooting, Kai and Trina will know that's a lie too, but silence might be their only option. What about Trina? Will her loyalty to Kai drag her into danger, or will she crack under the pressure? Kai's safe raid is a double-edged sword. Kai's quick thinking in grabbing Portia's blackmail material seemed like a win, but his peek inside the safe now haunts him. No bribery evidence meant clean hands then, but Sonny's plant changes everything. Kai is the only one, besides Trina, who can prove Drew's innocence on that front. Refusing Drew's post-surgery plea to empty the safe was smart, but if Kai stays mum, Drew takes the fall for Heron's death. Trina will be caught in the crossfire. Her reluctance to flee the scene may show her heart, but keeping quiet will tie her fate to Kai's. If she spills to Portia or Curtis Ashford, Donnell Turner, it exposes their break-in, potentially ruining her future. Drew's false accusation leaves Kai speechless. Drew waking up and pointing the finger at Michael for the shooting is a bombshell Kai and Trina know is false. They were there, hearing the chaos but seeing no shooter. This lie protects the real culprit but dooms Michael if unchallenged. Kai's refusal to help Drew might stem from loyalty to Trina's family, but staying silent frees Michael while letting Drew swing. Trina's dilemma will deepen. As Jocelyn Joss Jacks, Eden McCoy, best friend, she can't let Michael rot, but confessing risks her own arrest. Will Kai convince her to hold the line, or will her conscience push her to act, dragging them both down? Trina's precarious position. Trina is the wild card here. Tied to Kai's secret but loyal to her family, she's bound to be torn between silence and justice. If Kai's knowledge saves Drew and Michael, it could redeem him in her eyes, but at what cost to her? Portia's blackmail freedom will hang on their discretion, but Trina's moral compass might crack. If the PCPD closes in, will she confide in Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, or Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, blowing everything? This could shatter her bond with Kai or force a confession that saves everyone, but jails them. Will Trina's choice be the key to freedom, or the lock on her own spoilers? Kai the key to both Drew and Michael's freedom, but what about Trina? In the ever-twisting world of General Hospital, just when fans think they've mapped out where the storyline is going, the soap throws another shocking curveball. Today's spoilers take that unpredictability to an entirely new level with a major revelation. Kai may very well hold the key to both Drew Kane and Michael Corinthos' freedom. But with that comes a darker and more emotional question. What about Trina Robinson? At the center of this explosive storyline lies a tangle of betrayal, secret alliances, and deeply personal stakes that threaten to unravel not just individual lives but entire families. Viewers have been buzzing with theories, but today's hints suggest the drama is about to reach a fever pitch. The Drew Kane dilemma. Drew Kane, Cameron Matheson, has spent months being pulled between loyalty to family, corporate warfare, and the ghosts of his own past. When Drew threw himself into the ELQ and Aurora media battles, fans knew he was setting himself up for trouble. But what no one expected was the extent of his entrapment in Port Charles's newest wave of power struggles. Drew's freedom isn't just about legal troubles anymore, it's about his ability to protect those closest to him. His ties to Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, and Willow Tate, Caitlin McMullen, make him vulnerable, and enemies are well aware of it. Enter Kai, a mysterious figure who suddenly seems to have access to the very information and leverage that could blow Drew's case wide open. The shocking question is, why would Kai risk everything to help Drew? Is it a matter of conscience, a secret alliance, or a move in a bigger game of chess. Michael Corinthos' tightrope walk. Michael, Chad Duell, has always had to juggle two roles, dutiful son and protective father. His loyalty to family, particularly his fractured bond with Sonny, Maurice Benard, has placed him in impossible positions. From his vendetta against his father to his attempt at reconciliation, Michael has constantly been tested in ways that blur the line between morality and survival. Now, Michael's freedom is tied up in corporate conspiracies, mob rivalries, and federal pressure. The threat hanging over him isn't just legal, it's personal. If Michael falls, Willow and their children could face devastating consequences. This is where Kai steps into the spotlight. The mysterious character holds information that could dismantle the legal stranglehold over Michael. But as with Drew, fans are left to wonder, what's Kai's endgame? Who is Kai, really? The arrival of Kai has sparked waves of speculation. On the surface, Kai appears to be a wild card, someone who could be friend or foe, savior or saboteur. The fact that Kai seems to simultaneously hold Drew and Michael's fates in his hands raises an alarming possibility. Kai isn't playing on one side, but all sides. Some spoilers suggest Kai might be tied to John Jagger Cates, Adam Harrington, which could explain his access to sensitive information. Others whisper that Kai may be working as a double agent, feeding intelligence to multiple parties while secretly holding his own agenda. And then there's the emotional bombshell, Kai's connection to Trina Robinson, Tabyana Ali. This is where the story takes a devastating turn. Trina's heart on the line. Trina has endured heartbreak, danger, and betrayal in her young life, but nothing could prepare her for the storm brewing around Kai. While her friends and family see Kai as a potential savior in the war for Drew and Michael's freedom, for Trina, it's personal. Rumors are swirling that Kai and Trina share more than a casual connection. Some fans speculate that Kai may be linked to her past, perhaps through ties to her father Marcus Taggart, Real Andrews, or even through Curtis Ashford, Donnell Turner, who has struggled to cement his role in Trina's life. If Kai is indeed connected to Trina's family, the stakes skyrocket, not just for Drew and Michael, but for Trina's own future. The heartbreaking question looms, what happens if helping Drew and Michael means destroying Trina? The web of loyalty and betrayal. Port Charles thrives on divided loyalties, and this storyline promises to put nearly every character on a collision course. Carly Spencer. Carly will undoubtedly push Kai to side with Drew and Michael. But will she risk Trina's safety in the process? Carly has always prided herself on protecting family, but this situation may expose the limits of her loyalty when weighed against the Corinthos legacy. Willow Tate. Willow has already faced unthinkable pain, from her leukemia battle to her constant struggles balancing loyalty to Michael with her own moral compass. If Kai offers salvation for Michael, will Willow be able to live with the collateral damage to Trina? Curtis Ashford and Portia Robinson. For Curtis and Portia, this is about protecting Trina at all costs. If Kai's involvement threatens their daughter, they will wage war, even if it means clashing with Drew, Michael, and the Corinthos family. Sonny Corinthos. Sonny may find himself forced to confront the ripple effects of his fractured family. Supporting Michael's freedom might mean sacrificing Trina's. Will Sonny make the cold, pragmatic choice, or will he finally step up as a true patriarch? The Trina factor, an unthinkable choice. Spoilers hint that Trina may soon be faced with an impossible decision. If Kai's power lies in knowledge or leverage tied to her, she could be thrust into a situation where her very life or future becomes the bargaining chip for Drew and Michael's freedom. Imagine the emotional weight. Trina, a young woman still finding her footing, suddenly forced to decide between saving her loved ones and protecting herself. Her bond with Spencer Cassadine, Nicholas Chavez, still raw and complicated, would only make the situation more volatile. If Kai uses Trina as a pawn, Spencer, wherever his storyline currently takes him, would likely go to the ends of the earth to protect her. Could this reignite their romance? Or will the trauma drive them further apart? Kai's hidden motives. So, what does Kai want? That's the million-dollar question. Redemption arc. Maybe Kai is haunted by past mistakes and sees helping Drew and Michael as a way to make things right. Revenge plot. Kai could be motivated by vengeance against one of the power players in Port Charles, using Drew and Michael as pawns to weaken the enemy. Personal ties to Trina. If Kai is connected to Trina through family or history, his moves could be a twisted way of protecting her, even if it doesn't look that way. Power grab. The darkest theory is that Kai wants control. By holding Drew and Michael's futures in his hands, Kai gains leverage over two of Port Charles's most influential families. The domino effect. If Kai succeeds in freeing Drew and Michael, the immediate impact will be explosive. ELQ, Aurora, and the Corinthos Empire would all feel the ripple effects. But the bigger story is how the fallout could divide Port versus Ashford clash. If Trina pays the price for Drew and Michael's freedom, expect Curtis and Portia to unleash fury on the Corinthos clan. Willow versus Carly. Two women who have fought hard to find common ground could find themselves at odds over whether Trina's sacrifice was acceptable. Spencer's return arc. Spencer could come back swinging if Trina is caught in the crossfire, setting up a revenge storyline that could reshape the Cassadine legacy. Fan reactions. Social media buzz. Already, fans are flooding social media with theories and emotional reactions. Kai better not hurt Trina. I don't care what he does for Drew and Michael. #GH. If Kai is tied to Taggart, I'll lose my mind. This story could be huge. #General Hospital. Imagine Trina being the pawn in this whole Corinthos mess. Protect her at all costs. #G-Spoilers. I love that Kai is a wild card. He could either be a hero or a total villain. Genius writing. The passion of the fanbase makes one thing clear. Trina's fate will determine whether this storyline is celebrated as a masterclass in soap drama or condemned as character assassination. What happens next? Spoilers promise that the coming weeks will be packed with shocking twists. Kai's role is set to expand, with his decisions shaping the futures of Drew, Michael, and Trina in ways that no one sees coming. Will he step into the light as a hero who saves them all, or reveal himself as a villain who sacrifices Trina to get what he wants? Either way, Port Charles is on the brink of another unforgettable chapter. Final thoughts. The revelation that Kai may be the key to both Drew and Michael's freedom is jaw-dropping enough, but it's the emotional stakes involving Trina that truly elevate this storyline. Soap operas thrive on impossible choices, and this one has all the makings of a classic. Loyalty versus love, freedom versus sacrifice, family versus morality. As General Hospital gears up for this next shocking chapter, fans are bracing for heartbreak, betrayal, and possibly redemption. But one haunting question remains. Spoilers. Nathan West's dark return. His lab escape frees Britt or seal their fate. General Hospital spoilers reveal leaks confirm Ryan Paevey's return as Nathan West, who's not only alive but endured harrowing torture in a shadowy lab. Speculation points to Nathan being held captive in Professor Henry Hank Dalton's, Daniel Goddard, Sinister facility, possibly alongside his sister Britt Westbourne, Kelly Thibault, potentially after faking his 2018 death to escape Caesar Phasons. Anders Hove, enemies. His bold breakout, possibly tied to WSB schemes and Pascal's, Mark Forget, control, promises a dramatic re-entry into Port Charles. Will Nathan's escape liberate Britt from her own captivity, or plunge them into deeper danger? With Maxie Jones, Kirsten Storms, in a coma, how will his return reshape the canvas? General Hospital spoilers. Nathan's tormented survival comes to light. Nathan's supposed death left hearts broken, but whispers suggest he was whisked away, subjected to brutal experiments in Dalton's lab, perhaps linked to the 5 poppies. His daring escape, maybe with Britt's help or a rogue WSB ally, shows his resilience, but fans wonder if torture has darkened his heroic spirit, edging him toward taking after his father's villainous ways. Returning to save Britt could awaken Maxie or spark chaos with Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna, and Damian Spinelli, Bradford Anderson, especially if Nathan is carrying scars that alter his once noble heart. How will this rip through the life Spinelli has nurtured with Maxie, and his intention to propose as soon as she wakes up, given that it will turn out she's still married? GH spoilers tease Britt's plight and a sibling bond take center stage. Britt's own entrapment at the 5 poppies, forced into lab work for survival, mirrors Nathan's ordeal. If he's breaking her out, it's a heroic reunion, but their flight risks drawing Pascal's vengeance or Sidwell's, Carlo Rota, pursuit to Port Charles. Nathan's return might explain Britt's strange behavior, pushing away Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, or snapping about Rocco Falconeri's, Finn Carr name, to shield Liesl Albrecht, Kathleen Gotti, from more pain. Their sibling bond could be their strength, but a failed escape might doom them both to a deadly fate. General Hospital spoilers, a Port Charles shake-up. Nathan's comeback will stun Maxie, James West, Gary James Fuller, and Spinelli, who's built a life with Maxie. If Nathan has turned dark, he could append many lives in Port Chuck that will be thrilled to see him, but may come to feel differently if he's not the same old Nathan they once knew and loved. Fans are gushing. Will his escape save Britt and heal family wounds, or unleash a new wave of danger? How do you see this playing out? Nathan West's dark return, his lab escape freeze Britt or seal their fate? Soap operas thrive on shock, heartbreak, and the kind of twists that no one sees coming, and General Hospital may have just set the stage for its most shocking resurrection yet. 4 years, fans mourn the tragic loss of Nathan West, Ryan Pavey, the beloved PCPD detective and Maxie's great love, who was gunned down in 2018 by his father, the sinister Caesar Faison. His funeral was a tear-soaked spectacle, cementing his status as one of Port Charles's greatest heroes. But now, the whispers are growing louder, and new General Hospital spoilers suggest Nathan's death may not be as final as viewers once believed. Behind the walls of a twisted medical lab, Nathan could be alive, imprisoned, experimented on, and changed forever. The kicker. His freedom may not just mean a triumphant reunion with Maxie and James, but also a dark connection to Britt Westbourne's fate. Could Nathan's escape from captivity free Britt from beyond the grave, or will his resurrection come with a price that seals both siblings' destinies? Let's dive into what this potential bombshell means for Port Charles, the West family legacy, and the enemies circling them all. A look back. Nathan's heroic sacrifice. Nathan's original exit was one of GH's most devastating moments. The detective was a rare mix of moral compass, loyal friend, and hopeless romantic. His relationship with Maxie was a slow-burn soap dream, built on trust, love, and the kind of chemistry that made fans root for them at every turn. In 2018, Nathan confronted his father, Caesar Faison, in a desperate attempt to protect Maxie and their unborn child. In true soap villain fashion, Faison shot Nathan, who later died at the hospital despite heroic efforts to save him. His funeral brought nearly the entire town together, and his portrayer, Ryan Pavey, exited the show in a blaze of heartbreaking glory. But General Hospital fans know better than to believe that death is always the end. After all, how many dead characters have turned up alive thanks to Helena Cassadine's schemes, Victor Cassadine's experiments, or the endless scientific tinkering in WSB-controlled labs? The rumors begin. A West sibling resurrection. Now, fresh spoilers hint that Nathan may not only be alive, but could also be tangled in the shadowy science that has long plagued Port Charles. Word is spreading of a lab, one tied to remnants of Victor Cassadine's operation, where frozen, preserved, or altered individuals are hidden away for future use. Britt Westbourne, Nathan's half-sister, tragically died of Huntington's disease complications after her tear-jerking farewell with Liesl Albrecht and Nina. Her loss shattered viewers, but the same kind of soap science that has revived countless characters could mean Britt's body was preserved. Could it be that Nathan and Britt are both connected in this lab of horrors? The theory: Nathan was never truly dead but instead placed under deep medical stasis or subject to rehabilitation experiments. Britt, on the other hand, might have been secretly transferred after her death, her DNA or medical files being used for the same twisted research. Nathan's escape. Hero or harbinger? Spoilers tease that Nathan's escape could serve as the catalyst for answers about Britt. Imagine the drama. Nathan emerges from captivity, confused, haunted by fragmented memories, and carrying secrets about the lab's dark purpose. But there's a chilling possibility. If Nathan's body was altered, cloned, brainwashed, or otherwise tampered with, is he truly the same man Maxie once loved? And if the lab held Britt, does his freedom mean hers, too? Or is it the very thing that ensures she can never come back? The Maxie factor. Love, loss, and reunions. For Maxie Jones, the possibility of Nathan's return could upend her entire world. She has grieved, moved on, and even built a new life raising James, along with Georgie and Bailey. But the echoes of Nathan's love never truly left her. A Nathan resurrection would throw her current romantic life into chaos. Spoilers suggest Maxie and Spinelli could finally be inching closer toward rekindling their bond, But what happens if Nathan walks back into her life? Fans are already buzzing about the triangle potential. Spinelli, the quirky hacker who has loved Maxie for years, versus Nathan, the great love she thought she lost forever. If Nathan is alive, can Maxie forgive the years of absence, or will the scars run too deep? Angle, mother and mastermind. No GH return is complete without Liesl Albrecht's involvement. As both Nathan and Britt's mother, Liesl has lost more than most women in Port Charles. She has mourned her children, raged against those responsible, and carried guilt over her ties to Caesar Faison. But if Nathan is alive, could Liesl have known all along? Or will she be the one who unravels the truth behind the lab, determined to free her son at any cost? There's also the chance that Liesl has to face a horrifying decision. If Nathan's resurrection came with a dark twist, will she fight to keep him alive as he is, or battle to restore the son she once knew? And if Britt is somehow preserved in the same twisted experiment, could Liesl be given the chance to save both her children, or lose them all over again? Britt's shadow, sealed fate or doorway to return. Britt's death was meant to be final, but soap operas thrive on loopholes. With Huntington's disease and Victor Cassadine in play at the time, her death had layers of scientific interference written all over it. Nathan's dark return could either slam the door shut on Britt's resurrection, confirming she is gone forever, or serve as the perfect gateway for her return. After all, if the lab preserved one West sibling, why not both? Imagine Nathan fighting for freedom, only to discover Britt's body, perhaps frozen, perhaps medically suspended, as the ultimate test of his will. Does he save her, or is she the price he pays for his own resurrection? The Michael and Drew connection. Cassadine science strikes again. Here's where the story could get even messier. Drew Kane and Michael Corinthos are both currently entangled in Cassadine fallout, WSB secrets, and questionable science. Drew's entire backstory involved memory mapping and experimentation. Michael, meanwhile, continues to circle the dangers of his family's mob ties and Cassadine schemes through Willow and Nina. Could Nathan's escape intersect with their storylines? If the same lab holds secrets about memory implants, DNA tampering, or even genetic engineering, Nathan could hold the key to unraveling mysteries that save Michael and Drew, while also raising the question of whether his own identity has been tampered with. The Sunny factor. Corinthos connections. No major storyline hits Port Charles without brushing against Sunny Corinthos. If Nathan's lab escape involves mob connections, stolen medical research, or Cassadine alliances, Sunny could easily become either protector or adversary. Sunny has a history of respecting Nathan, given his role as a good cop and Maxie's partner. But if Nathan's return threatens the stability of Sunny's family, particularly through Nina, who is Britt's close friend and Nathan's sister, then Sunny could find himself at odds with the resurrection fallout. What about Nina? Nina Reeves adored Nathan, and his death crushed her. The possibility of his return would reignite her emotional core, and possibly put her at odds with Maxie, Liesl, or even Sunny. Nina might desperately want to protect Nathan, even if his resurrection means pain for Maxie or danger for others. This could also serve as a redemption arc for Nina, who has struggled with fractured relationships across town. If she becomes Nathan's champion, it could soften her edges in the eyes of characters who currently distrust her. Fan theories run wild. Soap fans are already in overdrive with theories about how this might unfold. Clone theory. Nathan isn't the original but a lab-created clone, designed as part of Victor's genetic projects. Brainwashing angle. Nathan was alive but conditioned as a sleeper agent, now struggling to reclaim his identity. Britt's DNA link. Nathan's escape reveals Britt's DNA was used in experiments, leaving a trail that could lead to her eventual return. Dual resurrection. Both Nathan and Britt emerge alive, but one of them must sacrifice their future to save the other. The big question: hero or dark twist? Ultimately, Nathan's return forces one massive question. Will he be the same heroic man fans adored, or has captivity twisted him into something darker? Soap history tells us that characters rarely come back unchanged, and the potential for a tortured, morally complex Nathan could provide months, even years, of drama. Maxie's heart, Liesl's maternal loyalty, Nina's desperation, and the entire PCPD could be thrown into chaos. And if Britt's fate hinges on Nathan's choices, the West family legacy could either rise from the ashes or collapse once again. Conclusion. A return like no other. General Hospital has built its reputation on jaw-dropping resurrections, shocking twists, and the emotional power of family bonds tested to their breaking point. Nathan West's rumored dark return may be the biggest shocker yet, tying together past tragedies, present struggles, and future uncertainties in a single explosive storyline. Whether his escape frees Britt, seals her fate, or tears Port Charles apart, one thing is certain: Nathan's name is back on everyone's lips, and his story is far from over.